So you can see, first of all, before we get to the point, we're using a powersoft.com screen recorder. It's all free to use. It's online. You don't even need to register. You see, you don't even need to log in. And this is how it looks before you start. You can just simply click on start recording, and you can choose how you wish to record your screen. You can use a webcam, the system sound, microphone, etc. We used to use screenup.io, but this one seems to be a little bit better. Seems to be the winner here. So we're probably going to use it in the long run, hopefully. So the main point is Credit Suisse crisis as Bitcoin investors feeling bullish. What happened with Credit Suisse? We had another bank in Switzerland and in the US that had some troubles. But we want to explain and help you how to check those things from a better perspective before you can actually reach some conclusions. So the headlines here in decrypt.co is that those who invest in Bitcoin feeling better now. Why? Because the likelihood that the Federal Reserve is going to pause interest rate hikes has increased. So if they're going to stop or pause increasing the rates, that's going to favor Bitcoin. It's also going to favor stocks as well, because if you remember, when the rates were lower, the stock prices went up, so including the stock of Credit Suisse, and we get to it during this video. So this is one of the headlines. Now you can see over here that the FDIC asked signature buyers to stop all crypto business. So FDIC, the banks that are basically working in the United States, they are protected by the FDIC. They remember FDIC, and this is how they guarantee the deposits in case the one of the banks become insolvent. But what they said, basically the FDIC said, that they want anyone that's going to buy the signature bank to not have any business with crypto. So one of the congressmen, Tom Emmer, he said, today I sent a letter to the FDIC and I said that what they're doing is weaponizing recent instability in the banking sector to purge illegal crypto activity from or in the United States. And this is the letter that he sent over. You can see that a lot of people retweeted it, and you can also see the responses from different members. They say, thank you, sir, thank you, congressman. And someone says, Mark Jeffrey with 50,000 followers. Well, I appreciate what you did. It seems like you guys have no real power to actually do anything about it, except to write mean letters and scold people in hearings. Meanwhile, people like the head of FDIC and this guy run around vandalizing everything on a monster scale. So some people are happy with it, but you can see that a lot of people like crypto, and crypto is here to change the world, and this is why we also believe in crypto. So it's a good thing to see that Congressman Tom Emmer is supporting crypto. I mean, what the FDIC is basically saying is saying, okay, what we give up all cryptocurrency business in the bank if you want to deal with it. This is not a way to deal. This is not a way to conduct business, with all the respect. Now, something that's one thing. Now, something that we wanted to discuss is the price of crypto. Bitcoin, for instance. Bitcoin is almost touching $25,000 now, and the question is it going to keep on rising? So, if you look at the US rates, the prediction, you can use it like these keywords in Google. You can see that back in the days, the market was expecting by the end of 2023 to have the rates around 5 to 5.25, and this is what they've been saying back then. And this was regarding the meeting of the end of January and then February, the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee. So that's what they did, but they increased it to 4.5, and after they increased it to 4.5, the market were expecting them to go even higher towards the end of the year. But because of what happened, there's a very good chance now the market is factoring the rates to maybe even go lower towards 4%. And if they go towards 4%, that means that the rate is not going to be too attractive. Think what happened with Credit Suisse. One moment. So regarding what happened with Credit Suisse, we know it failed, but what does it mean and what should we do about it? Should we worry or should we not? So there's one thing, you can call it fear index, some call it VIX, and basically you can see that what happened with Credit Suisse, yes, it did raise the VIX factor or the VIX index towards 29 points, but right now it went down towards 24. So right now, according to what the market is showing, the market is not too scared about what happened to Credit Suisse. So basically, the market is expecting the governments to intervene and to do whatever they need to do in order to sustain the market, to bring stability. And it doesn't seem like we're experiencing what we did in 2008 because there is no fear in the market. The markets are not ruled by fear right now. In fact, you can also look at the Credit Suisse stock price. This is another good indication to see what happened with it. So in the past 5 days, yes, it was $2.66. That was last Friday, about almost a week ago. But the market does feel whenever there's some issues, with, just like the market should expect, even before we knew what happened. Then it went down to $1.96 and then to $1.88. But since then, it only recovered. And if the rates would remain low, we should expect stock prices like this one and other banks, other stocks, they should increase in price because we're going to go back to what we've been experiencing throughout the years, throughout the past 10 years or so, even more than the past 10 years. Since 2008, there was what we call cheap money, and this cheap money was fueling stocks, fueling real estate prices, and even fueling Bitcoin that was pretty much introduced around 2010, 13, depends exactly when you really want to point out, when it slowly has become more and more popular. So that's something for you to consider, as well as something to consider. Let's give it a try with a roll over here. I got 2 Satoshis. By the way, freebitcoin.in are offering 8 Satoshis, so it's not that much, but anything helps. You can collect free Bitcoin, just collect those Satoshis, get them, keep them, they could be worth much more. As you can see, the market is going crazy all the time. So you can use the code Credit Suisse to grab something extra. And now we're gonna go to the coin market cap. So there's a lot of speculation what's gonna happen next. Is Bitcoin going back to $30,000? Is it gonna go back to even $25,000? Well, it's only $100 away from it, but what can we expect? So we already explained what the rates are already factored. So the markets are expecting the Federal Reserve to not raise the rates, or to raise them by 0.25%, by 0.25% at most. That's something that the market is already factoring. Now, if the Fed is going to surprise the market and say, whatever happened, those are only few incidents, and we're going to raise the rates nonetheless, then that's something that could affect the Bitcoin price. It's very hard to say. I mean, we have on the one hand a belief that we are nowhere near what we've been experiencing in 2008. But it does seem like there are a lot of troubles with the financial system, especially because we are after the pandemic, and the pandemic has brought Bitcoin up to $70,000. So it's very normal that in an environment when the rates are going up, and they went up pretty fast, it's very normal that we're gonna see what we've been seeing in the past few weeks. So it could favor the price of Bitcoin. But in the long run, if we have to look 3 to 4 months forward, it's very difficult to say. Still, we have the halving of Bitcoin towards 2024, so that's something that should favor Bitcoin. But the question is, if the Federal Reserve is going maybe to surprise the markets, maybe not in this meeting, but a few months from now, and they're going to raise the rates nonetheless, and maybe we're going to end up with 6% rates in the US in the end of the year, and that's something the markets are not factoring right now. They used to factor it before the events, but now they're not. So that's something to consider. It's difficult to say, but that's something that we have to look as the years go by. USDT is pretty strong and it's pretty massive so far. Tether is being audited by BDO, so it's something that they have a lot of cash reserves behind what they're doing. The only worry with Tether is that they might be attacked by the US government, just like we've been seeing here, but in a different way. And this is something that we have to take into consideration. So this is the website, Tether token. You see, it looks like a very normal website. There's not a lot of information here. And you don't even see the team behind it. You just see Tether Operations Limited. This is something that we're a little bit more concerned, because if Tether is not going to produce stability, then that's something that the market might not like. So that's something we have to consider. They did retweet something here, and in about 3 days ago, they retweeted all these, but they don't seem to provide a lot of information. So that's why we're a little bit concerned. When you click on contact us, you can see all the ways to reach out to them. And Tether had to block certain wallets already in the past few weeks. They have to freeze certain wallets whenever they were required to do so by governments. So this is something that it's a bit concerning, because until now the entire operation is very vague. I mean, they have a lot of cash reserves behind them. Binance, on the other hand, you have CZ in the front, so you know that at least you know who's the person behind it. But still, it's difficult to say. Well, Google itself is a monopoly, and it started many years ago, and it's now becoming a sort of monopoly with the search engine market. When you search for something, normally you use Google. You can use Yahoo, you can use Microsoft MSN, Bing, you can use DuckDuckGo, but most people are using Google. So maybe Binance could become a sort of monopoly like Google in the crypto market, in the crypto world. We don't know yet. No one knows. But those are things to think about for the long-term future. So all in all, hopefully you got enough tools that can help you to make a sustainable decision how the crypto world is looking right now. As you can see, the market is favoring crypto at the moment. Banks and other things like inflation rates, they seem to be under pressure right now, but things could always change. It could be very dynamic. It could change rapidly from one day to another. There could be something new in the news that we don't know, and once it explodes, you should definitely look for a few more things to explode in the next few weeks. That's for sure. I mean, it doesn't look like the market is going to remain the way it is now. So whether it will come from the Federal Reserve, the US government, from all these companies we mentioned, Tether, Binance, maybe others, we don't know, but that's something to look out for in the near future. All right, so once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see you in the next video. And if you have any comments, please, by all means, share them below. Any questions as well. And hopefully gonna see you soon. Thanks and bye.